how are relations with the Prime Minister? Are things strained now because of
No,
what's happened?
not at all. He saw the ad before I put it out, so did his chief of staff. They both saw it, and we moved forward on it. But again, we achieved our goal. As we say, mission accomplished.
My name is Nico Lagan, and I'm too conservative for the conservatives. My co-host Rob Ambrose, not woken up for the liberals. We are the Political Orphans. As always, make sure to like this video, but above all, we want to hear from you. So leave us a comment in the comment section. As I said yesterday, we started a new YouTube page dedicated to the Political Orphans. So make sure to go like it. Make sure to go subscribe to it. I just added the link in the description, in the conversation, in the comments, I mean. So make sure to go like, make sure to go follow, and hit that little bell thingy so you know when we're live. What's going on, bro?
What's happening, brother? What an idiot. That was what you accomplished? Okay, Mark, hey, listen, tariffs aren't high enough. Let's try to get another 10%. And also let's waste $75 million. Yeah, mission accomplished, bro. What an idiot.
You know, I was wondering this morning, how much would that cost? So if Trump actually goes through...
You mean how much would 10% tariffs?
So I calculated it this morning. I just want to go back. So it's estimated, from what I could see, our export is valued at about $580 billion a year. $58 billion is what it would cost us, give or take. $58 billion. So you spend $75 million of taxpayers' money to piss off the president of the biggest economy on the planet, and your stupidity is going to potentially could cost $58 billion. And I also did some research this morning, and it turns out that... Yeah, exactly, fucking twat. And, you know, if they do label the ad campaign as foreign interference, Doughboy could face legal consequences. So they could literally go after the premier of Ontario. And tell me Trump wouldn't do something like that. Like, come on. You know he would.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure he'd try. I mean, I think it's the kind of thing that would probably drag on. By the time the court's ever heard it, like 3 years from now, no one will give a shit. I think it's just stupid. It was just so stupid. And to say that, to double down and say mission accomplished, like, yeah. What? Like, my mind is blown. Like, it's bad enough, but like, you could at least just say, okay, yeah, look, it didn't have the effect that we had intended. So, you know, my bad. Like, at least that, he'd still be an idiot, but at least he wouldn't be just an absolutely clueless idiot.
Yeah, but you'll see. I'm going to play a video in a couple of minutes, and turns out that he knew. Just like I called yesterday, just like we were talking about yesterday, we knew that Carney knew about the odds.
Yeah, because
it's confirmed.
No reason why he wouldn't be calling. He'd be throwing Doug Ford under the bus like crazy if he didn't know about it.
Yeah, and you're going to see, and it's funny because I posted about it this morning. I'm like, the fact that Carney did not publicly call out Fat Boy or Doughboy, Doug Ford, for the ad campaign simply confirms that they're working together. And as I post that, I start doing research for the show today. There's a video that I saw a video of Doughboy admitting on camera that Carney knew. So we were right all along. Yeah, they worked together. You know that Carney probably just like heard that. He's like, oh fuck yeah, because there is a strong. The more we approach the November 4th budget, the more I wonder if it's a possibility to have a vote of no confidence. I don't know if it is, but it looks like they're preparing themselves. Like Carney is doing everything possible if in case it happens. Yeah, he's gonna fight the Trump battle again.
There's always a large amount of like inside baseball going on with this kind of stuff, where we the outsiders just aren't able to we just don't know. But the fact is, the people who are on the inside, like, you know, Mark Carney and the Liberal parties, and they seem to be seriously, they seem to be taking it serious that there's a good chance that there's going to be elections. So to my mind, that you know, we said the other day that there probably wouldn't be, but I would say I still don't think there is, but I'm less certain of that than I was 2 days ago.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is, and it's the perfect segue to say we will be covering it. So if you guys want to join us on November 4th, which is Tuesday next week, Jason Levine and I will be covering. We'll do a live coverage of the.
Is that the vote for the budget, or that
no?
When the budget
Yeah,
gets
it's
released?
the whole thing. It's they
Okay.
table the budget and then they vote for it. Obviously, they're going to go through it. So it should be around 4 p.m. on Tuesday, November 4th. Maybe Rob is going to join us. We have a financial expert. I cannot remember her
That's
name.
not me.
We have a financial...
That ain't
no.
me.
So we have a financial expert by the name of Nadine Wellwood that will be joining us to break down what's actually happening. So yeah, it should definitely be very fucking interesting. She's worked in finance and defense, so it should be very interesting because there's going to be a lot of defense spending in that budget. Obviously, they've been talking about it day in, day out. So I'm looking forward to that. And we normally do well. Like those episodes are normally really cool.
Yeah,
that we normally shoot the shit for
they're
2-3 hours.
They're a little more low key. I mean, not that you can.
Oh yeah,
we're already a little more casual. we're pretty fucking casual.
We're literally shirtless and we pick our nose
and
on
wearing
camera.
wife beaters. Fucking
It's more laid back than this. Goddamn.
Bristles Tube says us orphans always know. Yeah, I mean it is. I mean, there's a lot of things that get talked about on this show that then, you know, specifically related to Pierre Poilievre. We'll say a lot of things that we think he should do, and then like a couple of days later he does it. Does that mean that he's watching the show? No, not necessarily, but he's watching the show.
You know what? Anybody out there that is smart, and you have political commentators out there that speak to your audience, you should listen to them. Because at the end of the day, like just my Instagram gets millions and millions and millions of views every month, right? I do that 3 to 10 million views a month. So if you're smart, that's a shit ton of Canadians that are paying attention to my content. And I guarantee you, the people that are following me don't really like you. They don't like Pierre Poilievre. So if you want to know why, you might want to follow what I say and check the comment section.
Yeah,
you might learn a lot, right?
Well, yeah, and you know, just to toot our own horns a little bit here, I'm sure there are people out there, content creators, who might be more connected politically, or might have, you know, more, might have more sort of experience. But almost everyone out there that's a major content creator that's talking about politics is kind of, you get the vibe that they're a shill, right? They're in, like, I don't like, for example, Mark Nixon, you know, great guy, really like the guy, smart guy. But he's not going to say anything bad about Pierre Poilievre, you know, and it's hard to trust, you know, anyone who you, if you're not sure they're not biased. So bringing it back to us here on the show, like, you know, we're not in anyone's pocket. And what we might lack for in brains and smarts, I think might make up for it.
Makeup and looks.
And eye candy. But also, you know, because we have the show is so heavily based on audience engagement, it's kind of like a hive mind over here, right? And I you know, again, we're a little bit biased, but it does seem like a lot of stuff that gets discussed here on this show, whether it's me, you, or the audience, does often come to pass.
If you're smart and you get access, if I could have an ear to my audience, I would listen to those people all the time. Like, look at Moose on the Loose, for example. I'm not the biggest fan of his content. I don't find him very entertaining. He's pretty dry, but he is research as fuck. Like, that dude's
that's what I mean.
There's
people who are gonna be like that.
Oh yeah. So I listen to his stuff all the time just to see, did I miss something? Is there a story that's going on right now that I didn't know about? Because I trust his research. His research is bang on. Like, the dude is I'm gonna give him credit. Probably the most researched dude in politics, especially on the conservative side in Canada that I've seen. Insane. I don't know how many programs and aggregator he runs to find all the stories he covers, but the guy is goddamn. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. And you can kind of like, pick and choose the strengths of some of these. Rusty Wiener says, it's been sad watching Northern Perspective get audience captured. I like them, but they're biased by access journalism. It's inevitable, right? It's as you get bigger and bigger, it's too attractive, that lure of access, right? Once you start getting big enough to get, Pierre Poilievre or whoever on the show, and I'm sure it would surprise me if Poilievre will overtly say, this is what I want you to say. But I'm sure they have a way of, hint, hint, wink, wink. You know what you're supposed to say. You know what you're not supposed to say. And if you want to keep getting access to these people, you keep playing ball. And,
that's a guarantee. That is a guarantee that they know what they can and cannot say during an interview with him, what they can and cannot. Of course they do. And they play You want to have access to those guys, you have to. Look at, what's her name? Jasmine Lane. She posted some pictures of herself in the parliament today. She was escorted by Andrew Gunn, and she was walking around, and she's like, hey, I just started this a year ago.
Getting escorted in Parliament.
Oh no, we'll be escorted out.
Yeah, escorted out. You're making a scene.
But at the same time, like, good for her. She only really started doing her own thing about a year ago, so good for her.
Yep.
But at the same time, she's walking the political line. Like, I gotta give her credit, because I will comment on her stuff. When I see stuff that I don't agree with, I'll comment, and she'll actually comment back, because we've spoken before, we follow each other, we know who we are.
Yeah.
So I'll give her all the credit in the world, because she knows what she's doing. If you listen to her show, she's very good at what she does. But she is a conservative, she is a big C conservative that backs the conservative. And you won't see her make fun of Pierre Poilievre, which is always the part that I'm like, it sucks. You should be able to make fun of everybody and call out anybody that's out there that is wrong, no matter who they are. And again, Pierre Poilievre is not taking advantage of the situation that we're seeing right now. Man, we were talking about this yesterday, how I would be beating that drum, pointing fingers at Doug Ford, saying Doug Ford should get fired. This guy will, the numbers I showed, can you imagine Pierre Poilievre showing up on a video just saying Doug Ford's stunt not only cost taxpayers money, $75 million, but it will end up costing Canadians $58 billion if Donald Trump goes in with that 10% tariff increase. And as you'll see in one of the videos I'm going to show, Trump said that he no longer wants to talk to to Carney. He's like,
again,
nope, we're done.
That's what we said yesterday. Remember, we were saying, like, I'm not sure.
But just for you, the video, he actually says, I laughed when I heard that, because that was your comment yesterday. They said they apologized. They said they would stop, but they ended up running ads 2 days after they apologized. Exactly what you said yesterday.
And that's like what you were saying a few minutes ago. This is just common sense. It's not like, this is not some brilliant political insight. It's just understanding human nature and in general, and Donald Trump's nature specifically. If you say that's like, it's like some guy who's banging your wife. He's like, "Yo, man, I'm so sorry. I'll stop banging your wife after the weekend because we got a nice weekend plan." You know what I mean? You're not going to be cool with it.
Wow, that's a weird fucking example. Before we get into it, I'm just going to take Anastasia's comment. So, Sunshine Baby Jasper, I don't know who he is a Pierre Poilievre fan, but he calls out Pierre too. And that, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that what Mark Nixon is doing is wrong, what Jasmine Lane is doing is wrong, or what Mario Zafaya
just that you got to take it with a grain
is wrong. All I'm saying is that they're not really journalists, because you're supposed to be unbiased. You're supposed to criticize you're supposed to call out, you're supposed to report the news no matter how it makes the people look, and there's plenty of opportunity to make Pierre Poilievre look bad, but they never do. Like, they never take, and it's fine. Again, it's fine. We all have a degree of biases, no questions about it. But I'm biased in a sense that I will never condone any politician. This is my bias. I don't like them. They're all, to me, they're all fucking vampires. They don't care about us. Vampires, not as in they actually are immortal, as in they suck our blood. They live on our blood. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I got you. You know, and it's, one thing we'll often say about Polyev in sort of, you know, to kind of compliment him is we'll say, you know, he is polished. He tends to be like a polished politician. He goes up there, he speaks well. And that is part of being a politician. But there's another part of being a politician, and that's political instincts. And he has terrible political instincts. Like we were saying yesterday, and you were just saying a few minutes ago, I think I forget which commenter had brought it up yesterday, but yeah, he should be going out there and you know, reaching out to Trump and being like, and just throwing these fucking yahoos under the bus. Be like, Mark Carney and Doug Ford have cost, you know, whatever, $80 billion with this stupid stunt. Like, enough is enough. Time for the adults to come back into the room. I mean, that's a slogan. If you want a slogan, especially with an election coming up, go with that. Bring the adults back in the room.
And just say what we've been saying from the get-go for 9 months now. Love Trump, hate Trump. Don't fucking care. You need to deal with it. And what's the best thing to do for Canada? To make a deal with Trump, understanding that we don't have any leverage. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get away with no tariff. That ship has left the port a long time ago. So what is the best deal that we can make? If you have to take a cum shot to the forehead, guess what? Fucking take it and ask for a second one just to make sure. But this is the reality. This is where we're at. This is the reality. You need to do what's right for Canada. Who the fuck cares about your ego? That's one of the best characteristic of a leader is to lead from the front and never be ashamed of walking back his decision to say I was wrong. Or this is what I have to do in order to do the best thing. You know what? I thought it would work. It didn't. Do I have to look like an idiot? No problem.
That's my job. Said. This nonsense. Well, it did what we were supposed, what we wanted.
He looks like an idiot no matter what, right? There's nothing you can do to sound smart, but he is a fucking idiot. Yeah, he's an idiot. So let's start. You want to start with this? Let's. We'll listen. I'm gonna. So here's the order that I have in mind. So I will show a video from Doug Ford. Mm-hmm. Then I'll show another video of Doug Ford bragging on top of this one about how awesome his ads are. Then I'm gonna show a video of David Eby saying that he's gonna follow suit, like he's gonna do the same thing as Doug Ford did. Then I'm gonna show you a video about Carney saying that he was close to closing a deal before the ads. Then Trump, what he had to say about this, and then finally how Carney learned about all of this, what was going on with Trump not talking to him anymore in a conference. A reporter told him, and Carney's just like, okay then, like, we'll deal with it. He couldn't give two shits. Like, we are really living in a reality TV, and it is the dumbest show on television right now. Canada is the dumbest fucking show on TV.
Oh, absolutely it is. I just want to take a quick comment before we get into that. Kendi says, I don't think an election right away is a good thing. Yeah, it's one of those things where it almost, like, if it does happen, I don't think anybody wants it. And that's I
want it.
I actually think Polyev really does not want an election, right? Because it'll probably be the same result. Carney will probably win again. And if he loses again, like, at some point,
imagine he loses his seat in Alberta.
Oh my God! Could you imagine? It's just I don't think Polyev wants it. I think he's very comfortable in sitting there in
opposition role,
official opposition for the next 4 years.
Yeah, I've said this many times. I agree with you. I just think that he's very comfortable being there. He has no intentions of changing that. He doesn't want to be a leader, because if he did, right now would be the perfect opportunity to position himself as the man, the adult. Let's bring back the adults in the room. I'm sure there's a song somewhere that talks about being the adult in the room, little rock and roll. bring that shit back. Or if it doesn't exist, have one of her minions write it.
Yeah.
But all to say that if he wanted to be leader, this is like golden opportunity, fucking 60-yard pass, and you're just gonna catch it in the end zone. That's it. That's all he has to do. But clearly, we're not going to see that happen.
Why is he not banging this drum? Like this is political malpractice, especially with the at least possibility of an election in like a month or two. Like he should be acting like there is one, right? And then if not, then no harm, no foul.
No problem. He's still showing how different he would be from what those people are doing. It's political gold what he has there, but he doesn't have the balls to actually
now what would be really interesting, because remember how we were just talking a few minutes ago about how like a lot of time we'll talk about Paul Liam should do something.
He's gonna do it tomorrow.
In a couple days here, he starts to shift a messaging of let's bring the adults back in the room. If he does, then it's not even a conspiracy. They actually are watching this show.
And you know what? One single reason why. So wise guy saying an election is absolutely necessary to stop the liberal bills, and he's bang on. If there's another election, if a vote of non-confidence ends up happening on November 4th, Bill C2, C8, C9, and the new Bill C63 cannot be tabled. So those things are going to die in Parliament. They will need to be put in later on. So to me, just that is worth a fucking election, even no matter what happens with, as long as the Liberals don't win a majority. Because that's worse. But hey, let's start. Oh, not bad. 25 minutes in. Let's talk about. Here's Doug Ford. 5 minutes
into an hour-long show. Not bad to get started.
Not bad. We're getting there. Yeah. Here is Doug Ford saying that his ads, mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. This idiot. Look at that look on his face.
About this and what's I mean, he was pretty measured in Malaysia today.
Sure.
About you and about this situation. But how are relations with the Prime Minister? Are things strained now because of what's happened?
Not at all. He saw the ad before I put it out. So did his chief of staff. They both
under the bus you go, Mark.
We move forward on it. But again, we achieved our goal. As we say, mission accomplished. It was done. They're talking about it in the U.S. And they weren't talking about it before I put the ad on. So I'm glad that Ronald Reagan was a free trader.
You talk to the Prime.
Yeah, they weren't talking about tariffs at all in the U.S. And it's a good trade-off, Doug. Mission accomplished. We got them talking about it, and we also got 10% tariffs and suspended trade negotiations. What an idiot.
And speaking about Mark Nixon earlier, he shared that saying, Doug Ford brags that he got support from David Eby, Wob Canoe, and Mark Carney. Listen to this.
My champion, Wob Canoe. He's 100% behind it. Another champion, Premier Eby as well. So these are the premiers, total different political stripes than I am, but we're all sticking together. And I went right across the country and spoke to every single premier.
Daniel Smith doesn't like the ads, though.
Well, sure enough. Yeah, well, of course, Daniel Smith doesn't like the ads.
The two moron premiers love it, and the one smart premier hates it. I know what side I'm on.
But listen to this, though. Listen to what he says about Daniel Smith.
Yeah, well, of course, Daniel Smith doesn't like the ads because she's not getting her auto annihilated, her manufacturing, her steel, her life science sector. She has a commodity called oil that the Americans need and want.
Hey, asshole. You guys and the people in Ottawa have been destroying Alberta, preventing them from extracting oil for fucking 10 years. So don't give me this shit that, oh, she doesn't care. You guys have been raw fucking Alberta for 10 years now. It's happened. And the only reason this is happening to you, you fucking idiot, is because you keep on letting it happen. You're making it happen. It's your fault. I don't understand how that guy is not resigning. I don't understand how the opposition in Ontario are not all saying, resign, get the fuck out of here, you don't deserve to be here. I hope he gets sued. I really, really hope that the Reagan Foundation sues him for what he said, because the ad was not right. I showed you how it was cut. He realigned it. Did Reagan say everything on that ad? Yeah, he did. But you turned a 5-minute speech into a 1-minute ad, and you rearranged some of the sentences to fit your narrative while removing the parts that oh, the reason I'm talking about tariffs is because I'm putting 100% tariffs on electronic from Japan. So I do believe in tariffs when they're used properly to defend our economy. What's Trump been saying from the get-go? That he's trying to defend their economy. So technically, who's to know if Reagan wouldn't be putting tariffs just like Trump? I'm not saying he would, but what's to say he wouldn't?
Yeah, it was definitely misleading, Ed. This is just absolute incompetence by Doug Ford and Mark Carney. And make no mistake, he threw Mark Carney under the bus right there when he said, "Oh no, yeah, he saw the ad. He saw the ad. Now it's Mark Carney, right? Because if he saw the ad, by not stopping it, he at least gave it in a." He may not have explicitly supported it, but he implicitly supported it by not stopping it, because he could have said, "No, you idiot, you're not going to put this ad while I'm negotiating with Donald Trump." So he knew this was going to happen. He didn't say a thing. So now he owns this. This isn't just Doug Ford's mistake. This is Mark Carney's mistake too. And it boggles the mind that they could be this stupid. And then the absolute icing on the cake, that they saw the backlash happen. They saw Donald Trump freak the fuck out, and they said, "Okay, we'll cancel the ads, but we're going to run them for 2 more days. We're going to run them through the weekend." What an idiot. What an absolute moron.
Again, what does Rusty Wiener say? It's too... shit! He's there. At least he can remind us.
Why can we not remember
It's like
this?
7 words. It's too consistent to be incompetence. I think that's what he says.
I think that sounds right. That sounds right.
Here's another one, though. Here is... which one is this? I believe... Oh, yeah, this is Chris Seeby. Listen to this.
Entire idea behind Premier Ford's advertising campaign, although I acknowledge ours was of a decidedly different scale, is to get the message out to Americans about the impact of tariffs on Americans. The only people paying the additional 10% that the president announced the other day are Americans. Their prices are going to go up. They are going to feel the impact directly. And getting that message to Americans as well as American decision makers is crucial. We are going to exercise all of our ability to get the word out, including advertising to Americans. We reserve the right to do that. And we recognize that we're part of a team. So with that, I'm very much looking forward to our emergency meeting with the federal government in the coming days.
This is crazy, man. Like, what? They should just fucking watch this show, man. These politicians will do so much better. There's a time and a place when the best thing to do is say, "We fucked up, my bad." And this is one of those times. Like, I can even write the speech here for Doug. You just say, "Listen, we tried to raise awareness. Clearly it didn't go the way that we had hoped. We didn't intend to, stir up the hornet's nest. We didn't intend to put a stop to trade negotiations. Our bad. We pulled the edge immediately, not after the weekend. Not like, oh, Jesus Christ, man."
Limeo 61, just so you know.
Lil Mo.
Yeah. What did I say? Limeo? God damn.
Limeo.
Okay, stop. Yeah. Lil Mo 61. What Rusty Wiener is saying is, if it was incompetence, it wouldn't be so consistent. So the whole point is that we all know it's not incompetence. They fucking know what they're doing. And we were calling it yesterday that they spoke to one another, that they were in the works. Like, they knew what both of them were doing.
Yeah.
And today, pow, the video.
And that's just because, we were reading the tea leaves a little bit, where Mark Carney was not all over Doug Ford. Lost Art, new member, newest Orphan, welcome, sir. And that didn't make any sense why he wouldn't be all over Doug Ford, because Doug Ford just absolutely torpedoed his negotiation. So the fact that he wasn't throwing him under the bus suggested that he was in on it, and turns out he was. I just want to take this quick from DNL here. He says, and I don't think you were here yesterday, but we discussed this, DNL. He says, "I agree, Ford screwed up, but let's be clear, Ronald Reagan would never have done what Trump is doing. Ronald Reagan was all about free trade." Yeah, so the controversy about that clip is that speech that he was using in that video. If you just watch the last 2 minutes, he said all those things because he was a free trader for sure. But then he said, and that's why I'm so reluctant to announce the tariffs that we have to put on Japan. So he believed in strategic tariffs if it was necessary, in a moment in time because of an unfair trade practice. And that, you can make the argument that's what Donald Trump is doing right now. Obviously, it's a bigger scale, but he feels that there's unfair trade practices and he's doing strategic tariffs. It's not to say we don't know what Ronald Reagan would have done if he were alive, but you can't just say it's misleading to say what Doug Ford was saying, which is Ronald Reagan would be absolutely against these tariffs. He might be, but he also might agree that these are necessary for strategic purposes.
I would have loved for him to still be alive to see what his opinion was, because as you said, in 1987, in that speech, he announced 100% tariffs on certain Japanese electronics to protect their semiconductor business in the US, to protect their own market.
Yeah.
But he saw that he did not want, and clearly in the address, he says that he doesn't want to use them, but he feels like he doesn't have a choice. And if you hear the speech from Trump, again, love him, hate him, but Reagan was not in the time of Trump. We're talking about 40 years later, almost, like literally 38 years later, when China has taken over the free trade everywhere in the world. Everything comes from fucking China. They've decimated the free trade agreement with China, has decimated the middle class in both Canada and the US. 100%.
Yeah. And, it's, I don't think anyone thinks that even Trump expects these tariffs to be permanent or anything. I think Trump and certainly most of the Republican Party expects them to be, not permanent and short term. At some point, once the unfair trade practices that they perceive is going on, once those get addressed, I don't think the Republican Party is now, the party of tariffs. I think they're still a free trade party. And just like Ronald Reagan was, he was a free trader for sure. But, as judged by that very speech where he went on to actually put tariffs on Japan, he did believe in strategic tariffs.
I want to take the response from DNL saying, thanks, Rob. Exactly. He was reluctant and it was a last resort tactic. No, you can't make this argument with respect. Trump is throwing tariffs around like a candy. The thing is that all I'm trying to say is there's no way for us to know how Reagan would react today. He's not fucking alive, unfortunately, so we don't know. But that being said, nobody can say that Reagan did not believe in tariffs because he used them himself. So that's why I'm saying that ad was not right. The way that Ford talks about it is wrong.
Yeah, it
he
was
believed
definitely
in calculated tariffs. He's not saying like Trump tariffs across the board. But what I'm adding to this is not the same time. And back in 1987, we still produce shit in North America. 38 years later, now welcome to a completely new world where everything comes from China. Our middle class is decimated. So at the end of the day, would he be using tactic tariffs like Trump? Who knows? All I'm saying is nobody can say that he wouldn't because he's done it. So that's and they misused the speech to their advantage while removing the whole reason why he made that speech is because he was putting tariffs on Japan. Let's be honest here.
He clearly is not opposed to any tariff, but no. DNL, that's a fair point. The way Trump is doing it, throwing them around like candy, is different than the way Ronald Reagan did. But you could also make the case, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here. You could also make the case that yes, it's because times are different, and 30 or 40 years ago when Reagan did it, the strategic move only required one tariff on one country. But and I'm not even making this argument, but you could make the argument that in the present day, the strategic or the unfair trade practices are happening everywhere, and so this kind of like broad response is necessary. And it could be very well the same dynamic. Certainly the scale of the tariffs are different, but you could definitely make the case that the sort of the motivation behind them is the same in both cases.
Guys, we are talking about Doug Ford throwing Mark Carney under the bus saying that he knew about the ads. We're obviously going to talk about Trump's reaction, but we've just been ripping into Doug Ford and Carney. So if you're just joining us, this is what we're talking about. If you are just joining us and you're not a subscriber yet, make sure to like this video. Make sure to comment. We want to hear from you. So join us at the Political Orphans on YouTube. We want to hear from you. Make sure to subscribe and join the conversation, because at the end of the day, that's what we do. We're here to have conversations with you guys. And talking about comments, Bristle Tube, Reagan would have rode in on a horse and bitch slapped Ford and Carney. Yeah, he would have bitch slapped Ford with Carney. But I didn't realize, I saw a video of them two together. Like, you know, they recorded something at the end of last week. Yeah. I didn't realize that they're the same height. Like, Doug Ford is a tiny midget. I didn't realize he was that short.
Yeah,
he looks like he's the same height.
Yeah. He's a big boy, right? So it gives the impression that he's taller.
But he's not. He's a midge. He's definitely a midge, just like Mark Carney, yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. Often small people have a Napoleon complex, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Before we go to Trump's response, I just wanted to show this, because this is what a twat. So this was posted today, 2 p.m. by Doug Ford. U.S. tariffs on Canada are only making life more expensive for Americans. This afternoon, starting with ABC at 2 p.m., I will be making the case for a free and fair trade agreement that protects workers on both sides. He's basically saying that tariffs are wrong. You fucking twat.
No,
what? Like I posted on his post, and I'm just like, your ad stunt ending up costing us another 10% tariff increase. So basically, Americans should be blaming you, right?
Yeah, and like what he's doing now, like we said yesterday, I had said, you know, there's a right way and a wrong way. It doesn't mean you have to just bend over and accept tariffs. You can push back against them, but there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. What he's doing right now, that's the right way, where you make, you know, a tweet that's not attacking anyone, and then you mention that you're going to make the case or whatever. But it's too little, too late. You know, it doesn't matter now, because he just absolutely torched trade negotiations. He added 10%, a new 10% tariff that wasn't there before, and he has the fucking balls to sit up there and say mission accomplished. That's a bigger stretch than George W. Bush standing in front of on when he landed on that aircraft carrier, and they had that big banner, the Iraq War, mission accomplished. And this was like in what, 2 years after, like 2003 or 2004 or something. And then there was like 5 more years of this super bloody insurgency, and Iraq went to shit. But this is even worse than that one.
Hold on here. I got to take this one before I show the next video. But I had to Google Doug is 6'2". I Googled, it says Doug is 5'11". And then when you look at pictures, let me just show you pictures of him with Mark Carney.
Sideways. He's 6'2" sideways.
See?
Oh, shit. What? Yeah, maybe Mark Carney probably has lifts in his shoes or something. My 2 cents.
I don't no, but look again. Oh shit! Is my audio crackling?
Yeah, it is.
It's always when I share.
Yeah, that's really weird. Yeah. So Kenzie can hear it as well. I guess I'm getting used to it, because now that once they mention it, I'm like, oh yeah, it is kind of crackling, but I don't really hear it.
Hold on.
Yep. We'll Alberta Nan, this is a good comment, says it's decimating Canada's industries too. Dump the dairy cartel, let in American banks, and we'll have a deal in no time. Yeah, well, this idea of protecting the dairy cartel, that is absolute garbage. Like, first of all, we should just be dumping it anyways, because it's not good for us. We all pay higher dairy prices. It's only good, you know, it's not even good for the dairy farmers. We had the food professor here, and he was saying that the dairy farmers, they don't like it either. It's only good for a very small number of Ottawa bureaucrats. But yeah, so they should be getting rid of that just on its own merits. But to refuse, like, if that's the reason that we don't have a deal, that is just utter insanity. To protect the dairy cartel, and that's the reason, or one of the main reasons why we don't have a deal. That's crazy. DNL says, we entered into the auto pact in the 60s by giving up our car industry and agreed to make American cars. Explain to me where the threat is and why our car industry is being destroyed by Trump. Did we have a car industry? I mean, I don't think we were ever going to be able to compete with the big three in Detroit. I think that was probably the right call in the 60s to focus on being, manufacturing for the American car companies, because there's, the Bricklin made out in St. John, New Brunswick is not going to compete with those guys.
You don't think so?
No.
How's the mic now? Because I normally reboot all my equipment.
No,
every day,
it's still crackling.
Is it? God damn it.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Bristles Tube says Trump used executive order to protect Kuzma, and we turned around and tariff Kuzma compliant products. Who's in the wrong? Well, it's funny because I'm hearing whispers, and it wouldn't surprise me if this comes to pass, but it wouldn't surprise me if Trump leaves Kuzma, and that would be the apocalypse for the Canadian economy. That would be so bad for us. And there's definitely some talk that Trump wants to get out of it. It's his deal. So, maybe his ego will cause him to keep it. But if they exit Kuzma, we are royally fucked. Are you back?
Yeah, I just had to pop my volume to make sure that it works, because those mics.
Okay, that's better.
They're not gonna back out of Kuzma. Like, hold on, let me play this. Like, actually,
okay.
That. So let me just play this video. We'll remove the comment here. Oops, hold on. I think I muted it.
On the flight yesterday, you sent out your Truth Social about the Canada tariffs. Can you walk through when you expect those to take effect? And can I ask why?
No, we're gonna let them know. Ronald Reagan loved tariffs. He used them sparingly, which he probably would.
He didn't love them.
He made a mistake in that. And again, I was the biggest fan of Ronald Reagan, but on finance, on trade, it wasn't his strong suit. But he liked tariffs, and they totally changed that to say that he didn't, because they're catering to the Supreme Court, because Canada's been ripping us off for a long time, and they're not going to rip us off anymore. Canada has been ripping us off for a long time. One of the most difficult countries to deal with has been Canada. As much as I love Canada itself and the people of Canada, they've just had a lot of bad representatives. They did a fake ad yesterday. They were caught. The Ronald Reagan Foundation was the one that caught him, and it was totally the opposite of what they said. So I don't like that. That's dirty pool, and you can't do that. And let me just tell you, they shouldn't have done it. And they've apologized, and they said, we're going to take the ad down. Well, they did it, but they did it very late. They let it play for another 2 nights, and now they took that ad down. So I don't know when it's going to kick in. We'll see, but I don't really want to discuss it. Let's go.
Mr. President, can I just add, this is an ad, that was an ad run by a provincial government in Canada. Why are you mad at the federal government?
Because whether it's provincial or Canada itself, they all knew exactly what the ad was. Prime Minister knew, everybody knew. The Prime Minister knew what the ad was before it went on.
Will you see him in effect? Do you want to meet with him?
I don't want to meet with them. No, I'm not going to be meeting with them for a while. No. I'm very happy with the deal we have right now with Canada. We're going to let it ride.
Well, we have Secretary Beck here.
That's not good.
No. I mean, on one hand, I guess it's good that it sounds like he's not at least super keen on getting rid of Kuzma. That would be an absolute disaster. But it's not good as it relates to any sort of trade agreement.
It's one of those things that, again, it just shows how Trump is not a typical politician.
No,
he does not give a fuck about ruffling feathers. He's like, they knew, they apologized, they waited 2 days. Fuck you, I don't want to deal with them anymore. They knew, Prime Minister knew, because he's asked about, oh yeah, but that was a provincial government. Don't care.
Doesn't care.
Carney knew. Fuck you, and I'm not going to be sitting with Carney anytime soon.
Yeah. So, and you hear that a lot. Like, Trump is not a usual politician, and it's usually said like in a bad way, as in like, most politicians would, most U.S. presidents or most global world leaders would not let their personal feelings affect the country's business the way that Donald Trump does, and that's fair. That's a fair criticism. But at the same time, there's two sides of that coin. Yes, there are certain things where you need to be like wary of the fact that he is petty, and if he has a personal beef with you, he will take it out. He will, put that into his business with the country. But you can also get benefits from him that you would never be able to from any other global leader. There's not any global leader that you could just stroke their ego in private and jazz them up a little bit and then get a good trade deal with a national trade deal. Most politicians just aren't going to let their personal emotions dictate their job as president or prime minister. But Trump will, and instead of complaining about it, use that to your advantage. Like if Carney, I mean, it's too late for him, but if he had from the get-go been stroking his ego and jazzing him up and this and that, he very well could have gotten an actual good deal for all of Canada, because Trump, it goes both ways. Yes, he'll let his petty personal grievances impact his business as president, but he will also let his personal compliments and ego boosting, he will also let those affect his business as president.
As someone that did high-end sales for more than a decade, for 12 years,
yeah,
I would want to deal with a guy like Trump any day of the week, because I know exactly what to expect. If you're dealing with your typical salesman, sleazy politician, you do not know what they really think. So it's a massive game of trying to figure out what the other side is doing, trying to get intel from the inside to see are you on the right track, do they like you, blah, blah. Trump, just fucking ask him. He's going to tell you. Look at, like, he literally just talked about a provincial premier saying, yeah, he waited too long, so fuck you, I'm not talking to the prime minister anymore. No, but sir, it's provincial, not federal. I don't care. He knew. Fuck him. That's it. That's basically, obviously he didn't swear, but that's basically what he's saying. He does not give a shit. But here is, to me, where it gets even worse. Listen to this one before we'll play this, then we'll finish the show on comments, because again, I don't think we can make more than one topic when it comes to this, but listen to our Mark Carney response to this.
Act with President Trump since Thursday?
I have not.
Given that President Trump said today on Air Force One, I don't know if you heard this, but in the last hour, he said he doesn't plan to meet with you for a long time. Is it worth continuing to pursue a discussion, a meeting, a phone call with him at this point?
I didn't see the comment. Look, we stand ready to sit down with the United States, myself with the president, my colleagues with their colleagues, when the U.S. is ready to sit down. We had made considerable progress on a supplement to the trading relationship that we had, considerable progress in the areas of steel, aluminum, and energy, associated areas as well. And as I just said, we're ready to sit down when they are ready to do that. If they're not ready to do that, as those comments indicate, then we were always going to do these things, to be clear.
Yeah.
And then he goes on to talk about how they're going to table a budget that will, how does he keep on calling it, generational investment. So basically, we're going to spend a shit ton of money that your kids are going to end up paying for it. That's what generational investment means.
Lil Mo here, Lil Mo is talking about what you're talking about here. He says, have you seen what's in the 2025 budget? Billions for retraining, income supports, EI for all the sectors hit hard, almost like they knew. Yeah.
That was planned all along. It's a plan.
Yeah. It is the budget out yet, or is this leaking out?
Tuesday. No, but you get an idea because they keep on talking about it, so you get an idea of what's in there. Like, it's easy for us to know that there's gonna be a lot of spending on defense, because they agreed to boosting it to 2 or 2.5 of GDP 2.5% of GDP, so you don't have a choice. You know there's a big component of defense that's going to be part of that budget.
Yeah.
You know that there's going to be a lot of
remember when like a couple months ago
spending because they created a new entity to go against fraud and scams.
Remember a couple months ago when they weren't even going to put a budget out there? Like what these idiots thinking, man? Like how can you not have a budget? Like now that we're getting this out there, now like with everything that's going on, like it's crazy, man. It is absolutely crazy. And when you start to see kind of the trouble that we're in, the entire legislative agenda that the Liberals have put forward to, it's all so shallow and superficial. Like the country is in a serious like economic hole, and they're worried about fucking hate speech and opening your mail. Like this is talk about fucking rearranging the deck chairs while the Titanic goes down. Jesus Christ, these guys.
No, but hold on. I think you're missing the point of what they're doing. They are trying to pass bills that will prevent you from criticizing their moves. So they want those bills like Bill C2, C8, C9, C12, and C63 in place so that if they pass bills that you disagree with, if they do moves like what they're doing right now, they don't want us to be able to criticize what they're doing. That's why they want those bills. That's why everything's happening at the same time. And I guarantee you that what's happening, if you believe in conspiracy theories, what's happening right now is done on purpose in order to keep you from realizing what's really going on. So there's a story that's going on right now that this is overshadowing. This is the thing, right? What is it? Which one is it? We might not know. It may take us a while to figure out what it is. Yeah. But there's something, in my opinion, there's something really big going on behind the scene that would be major story right now if it wasn't for that fiasco. Because it just keeps on getting worse and worse. Like we're even dumber and dumber and dumber. It's literally WWE, what we're seeing right now between Canada and the US. And I just wanted to say hi to Sasquatch Chronicles. What's going on, bro? Haven't seen it in a while.
Haven't seen it for a while. This is
last comment. Man, after you need to take the last comment. That is bang on.
Okay, from Richard Pierce there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Derek Sittler says, Trump's the easiest guy to read in the room. Kiss his ass, tell me smarter than everybody, cash your checks. Yes, exactly, right? Exactly. It, like, instead of complaining about how he's so different and from every other politician, use it to your fucking advantage. He's not hard to read at all. People who act like he's like this super hard guy to deal with, it only is because they're trying to put him in a box of a regular politician. If that's your framework, if that's the lens you're viewing him with, yeah, he'll seem erratic and crazy and hard to deal with it. But if you understand who he is, he's a fucking caveman. And we all know those. Yeah, he's not hard to deal with at all. He's incredibly easy. He wears his motivations on his sleeve.
Richard Pierce, love your comment, bro, because I talk about a uniparty between the Liberals and the Conservative all the time. Controlled opposition. I've never heard controlled demolition before, but that just makes so much sense. I couldn't agree with you more. It is controlled demolition. As I was saying yesterday, it's the first time since the COVID lockdowns that the Liberals, the NDP, and the Conservatives seems to really agree on something and are talking about it. Like Doug Ford, I showed you a video of Doug Ford bragging that canoe, that wob canoe, is a hero. Like he's a champion. Is a champion. Like literally, a Conservative premier is bragging about being backed by communist NDPs. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here?
Well, Karl Marx, he supports it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Not only is he doing Mark Carney's dirty work, but he's proud that the NDP is backing him. You're conservative, bro. Like, what the fuck? What did they promise you? Like, what type of food did they promise Doug Ford? I want to know.
If you didn't know what party he's with, you would be shocked to find out he's not a liberal. Kenzie Kraken says that's exactly what Carney has been doing, kissing ass and telling him he's a transformative president. Yeah, like in the room when they're with the couple times he's been in the Oval Office, but that's not going to fly, because he's been, every time he's not in the Oval Office, he's elbows up and talking about how he's going to, deal with Trump. And he says this to the national news media. And Trump watches news like crack. That's his crack, is he watches news. He likes to see them talk about him, right? And he watches.
All he had to say is nothing. All he had to say is nothing outside of the Oval Office. And when he's in the Oval Office, suck his dick. That's it. That is all you had to do. You could continue going to China. You could continue going to Europe, all you want. Just shut the fuck up about standing up to Trump.
Yes.
Diversify. If you think it's possible, I think it's bullshit. But if you really think it's possible, diversify in the rest of the world, build pipelines, develop our oil fields, make sure we exploit we mine, we fucking drill, and we exploit our trees. That's basically all we need to do.
And when we say you kind of got to stroke his ego and kiss the ring and this and that, I mean, of course that means in person, but I think in person, I think everyone does it just because he's the president of the United States. You know what really, really, really would get Trump on your side is if you say it to the media. If Mark Carney supported Donald Trump from Ottawa during a speech or a question, right? But every time he's not directly around Donald Trump, he's just shitting on him and disrespecting him and talking like he's just a joke. And you can see in his eyes when he was just in that clip you just played, he is lost, man. He is drowning. And he bought into his own hype. He got high in his own supply. He thought he's the smartest guy in the room, and he's gonna, do circles around the fucking caveman Trump. And turns out you're not. You're not going to do that. Trump is not an intellectual, but he's not stupid by any stretch.
No, that is one thing. It might sound that we're calling Trump stupid, but I'm not. I can only talk for myself. Trump is not an idiot. He knows exactly what the fuck he's doing.
He's not book smart, but he has a firm grasp on human nature.
It's just easy to deal with him. This is the point I'm trying to make, is that it's no surprise. He tells you exactly what you need to do. He wrote a book about it. I think it was in the 80s to tell you how to deal with him. His own philosophies in that book, it has not changed ever since. You want to know how to deal with Trump? Read his fucking book. That's it. Art of the deal. Plain and simple. Sasquatch Chronicle, man, we missed you, bro. This is a type of fucking comments. November 4th, when the budget comes out, remember Sun Tzu said, an evil man will burn his own nation to the ground to rule over the ashes. And bang, bang, ticka, ticka, pow, pow. That's exactly what Mark Carney's doing. 100%. This is how I see it. You need to come back, bro. We missed your comments. I fucking love this.
It's we got who's this?
5 membership.
Too many sheeple gifts 5 memberships. Thank you, sir. So 5 of you guys might get lost arts. Like, fuck this, I just paid for it. But newest member, Lost Art, says Ford needs to change his colors. He is liberal, kiss ass all the way. If you just look at the things he says, who he hangs out with, who he praises, who he supports, you'd be shocked to find out he's a conservative in on paper at least.
But 100%. He does not sound like a conservative whatsoever. He's somewhere between a liberal and an NDP, which is that's fucked up.
That
Overton, like that Overton window is like.
This is a good comment, Alberta Nan. Carney thinks he's stupid. That's his biggest weakness. Yeah, I agree. He thinks Donald Trump is just some country bumpkin moron. And look, he's not smart in the way that a Mark Carney is smart, that sort of like intellectual book smart. But you know what? The way that Donald Trump is smart is frankly more of that's a more useful way to be smart when you're the president of the United States. Donald Trump is smart, and he understands human nature. He understands power. He understands, he might not even be able to articulate it, but he understands it instinctively. He understands, how influence works. And he's not stupid, and to underestimate him puts you exactly where Mark Carney is. Mark Carney thought he's the smartest guy in the room, and all his fancy degrees, he's just going to do, negotiate circles around Donald Trump. And now you see the look in his eyes. He looks like a deer in headlights. I don't think he's getting much sleep these days.
Yeah, I don't know. Vampires, do they sleep?
Yeah.
Vampires sleep?
No, they don't. Oh, too many sheeple.
God damn, you're on fire today, brother.
Yeah, shit. Appreciate that, sir. $20 tip, just the tip. Is are you on the sauce? On the sauce. Remember, who was it? Someone meant to give us a $2 tip, and they gave us a $200 tip or something.
I think that was the wise guy.
The wise guy,
The first time, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, that'll count for the next 6 months type of deal.
Yeah.
For the
Oh,
next
shit.
year. Yeah. Oops. Yes, we remember. Yeah, I think there was a couple of episodes we got wise guy $200 and we got Sasquatch giving us 100. Yeah, see, it is wise guy. Yeah, see, there you go.
Yeah. You can still. He's still stewing. He's steamed still.
I offered to send it back. We're in Canada. I could easily do an interact transfer. Like I've spoken personally with Wise Guy on the phone. We exchange emails every now and then. So I would have happily reimbursed him.
Yeah. DNL says Trump is definitely not stupid, rather like other sociopaths. He is highly intelligent and very dangerous. Throughout history, people have fallen victims of sociopath leaders. Most leaders are sociopaths, to some extent.
The vast majority of them.
Yeah. And I'm sure Donald Trump is high on the sociopathic spectrum as well. But he's not. No one's saying that he's a good guy. We're saying Mark Carney has really, really, really fucked himself by underestimating Trump.
And again, Purple Heart, exactly. There's a difference between book smart and street smart. Trump has NYC street smart.
And
he's not stupid. Don't underestimate Trump, but don't underestimate Carney at the same time. I read his book. Read Carney's book. You'll understand exactly what he's doing right now. It's all on purpose. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's doing what he says in his book that he's going to do. But at the same time, underestimating Trump is definitely a mistake. But at the same time, he's so easy to deal with. He is so simple. Sorry, not easy. It's simple to deal with Trump. You know the game plan you need to use. Suck his dick. Compliment him, make him feel like the best.
Make him feel like the big guy in the room.
If you go back if you, like you said earlier, if you go back to your own country, kind of suck his dick remotely. In the news.
That's probably more
great
effective.
Meeting. It was awesome to spend time with him. What a great guy. Absolutely beautiful, or whatever the fuck.
Beautiful meeting. You know what? And it's so easy to do because you know how the way the media just frames every question like to be very anti-Trump. Like we watched yesterday when they were discussing the Doug Ford story, and they described it as a tantrum, right? So if next time Mark Carney gets a question in some speech where a question is framed like that, if he just said, you know what, guys, that's not really fair. Donald Trump, like it says, like Donald Trump is doing what he thinks is best for the American people. He's not, he wasn't throwing a tantrum if that was a thing. That one thing could be the very well get us a fucking trade deal. You know what I mean? But he won't do it. He won't fucking do it. How easy
would it be to say, love him or hate him? He is the president of the biggest economy in the world. He buys 75% of our exports. We need to make a deal with the US until we can become more self-reliant over the next 5 to 10 years. Mic drop, we're done. Oh, yeah.
Donald Trump would look at that and he would probably put out a tweet and be like, always like Mark Carney, always like Mark, good guy. You know what I mean? Because that's how he rolls. This is what I'm saying, where it's like, yes, he can hurt you by letting his personal emotions dictate his actual government policy, but he can also help you in the same way. Because if you get on his positive emotions, he will also let that dictate government policy in a way that no other politician will do. And we'll take one last question before we wrap up, guys.
Sounds good, man.
Just because there was a good one here. Alberta Nan. She mentioned talking about life smart. Yeah, Carney isn't life smart. He's book smart. Big difference. Yeah, and life smart is kind of the same as street smart, I think, in the context used before. That's correct. I think that's a good way to put it. Donald Trump is life smart or street smart, however you want to put it, and he's not book smart. And almost every single Western leader is that same book smart, not life smart. Justin Trudeau, even Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Keir Starmer. all of
They're
them
not business
are
people, but they're not business people.
no, they don't
Mark
understand
Carney
real.
kinda
They
is,
don't
though.
understand real life,
No.
right? And that's why, like, I don't personally like Donald Trump, but there's a lot of value in having someone like that who's just so different from every other. Because if you think the West is in a good place right now and heading the right direction, I mean, fair play to you, but I don't know, pass the bong when you're done with it. And at some point, even if we don't love Donald Trump and what he does, we have to say, okay, but what we're doing for the last 50 years is not working. Let's try something else. And while I don't like Donald Trump, and I think in probably most times in United States history, he would probably be a very bad president. I think in this exact moment, I think he's probably exactly what they need.
I absolutely wish we had a guy like him in Canada to fuck shit up, because that is what he's doing in the US. That is exactly what the Americans need, and that's exactly what we need in Canada too. Like I say from the Bible, we need to flip tables. I want to see a guy go in and speak his mind, just say what needs to be said.
Yep.
Fuck you, I don't give a fuck how you take it, not my fucking problem. I'm here to do something. Fuck you, I'm here to fuck shit up. And that's what Donald Trump is doing. Love him, hate him, I want a guy like that in Canada. And I wish Pierre Poilievre had the stones to be that guy, because he has the perfect fucking opportunity to do it. Yet he will not touch it because he's not that type of guy. But we need a guy like that that's not going to be political, that's not going to be nice, that's not going to be trying to be comforting to people. No, fuck you. Done and done. All I want is somebody to fuck shit up, because our country's fucked right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a lot of fuck. That was more fuck in that one sentence.
Well, we're fucked in the algorithm.
No, algorithm don't catch you for the fucks unless it's in the first 20 seconds. So fuck.
Oh, really? Interesting. Okay, we're gonna put a pin there now. Except this one final one, just because this is perfectly stated. Kenzie says Trump is magnanimous. Yes, that is one of his positive traits. If you do something good for him, he will do something good for you. That is one thing, and that's exactly what we're saying. Use his the way that he can't really separate his personal emotions from his government business. Use that to your advantage. Praise him not just when you're in the room with him, but when you're in front of cameras back in Ottawa. And as you say, he is magnanimous. He will do something good for them. Good.
I don't know what I'm more impressed by, that word or the fact that you knew what it meant.
Yes. No, I mean, I'm well read. I'm book smart.
I'm not an idiot, okay?
Yeah, I'm not an idiot. But no, it's just it's someone who like shares, like if you honor them, they will honor you, kind of thing.
Good for you, man.
All right, guys, we're gonna put a pin in there. Excellent show tonight. Lots of really, really great engagement.
Sasquatch. I gotta say, I'm super happy. Sorry to cut you off, but I'm happy Sasquatch back.
Yeah. Sasquatch, great to see you back, brother. Hopefully you stick around. Guys, remember, like and share the stream while you're there if you haven't done so already. Lots of memberships being bought today. I see Lost Arts also gifted a membership. Thank you for that, sir. I'm sure whoever gets that will appreciate it. Other than that, folks, have a great rest of your night. Was there anything you wanted to add to that?
It's always a blast. I enjoy these shows so much. I enjoy interacting with you guys. It's interesting how when we only cover one story, the amount of comments that we take, and I just find the episodes to be so much better because we interact so much more.
Well, yeah, because political commentary isn't really our real meat and potatoes. That's just the vehicle we use to stimulate the audience engagement, and that's the meat and potatoes of this show is the audience engagement. Yeah, we stroke the balls. That's right. DNL, yeah, thanks guys. Enjoy the show. Yeah, you too, sir. Appreciate that, guys. Other than that, yes, we'll pin it there. See you tomorrow.
Peace.
Brain fart. Peace.